Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are still working in my bedroom. Last week, we repaired all of the drywall and painted everything this gray-green color. And so we kind of just have an empty box. And in today's video, we are going to start adding some character back into this room. Okay guys, I'm so excited because Green Chef is the sponsor of today's video. Green Chef is a CCOF certified organic company with options for every lifestyle like keto and paleo, vegan, vegetarian, fast and fit, Mediterranean, and gluten-free. With pre-portioned ingredients delivered right to your door, it makes it so much easier to hit all of your wellness goals. And it can save you so much time because meal planning, then grocery shopping, and then actually cooking the food, it just adds up. And so it saves me so much time because I don't even have to think about it, and I love that. One of my favorite things about Green Chef is the variety of recipes that we get to try, and they're super simple to make. My daughter is actually learning how to cook by helping me make all of these recipes. Also, every single recipe that we have tried, I'm not kidding, has so much flavor. We haven't had one that everyone in my family didn't really like, especially this spicy turkey egg roll bowl. Seriously, check this one out. You can use my code Kelsey60 to get 60% off plus free shipping on your first box. So just go to greenchef.com for more details. I promise it's so good. Okay, so here is where we left off. We painted everything gray, green. I think it's probably looking a little bit more green on camera. It looks pretty green in real life too, which I'm glad I didn't go with the pewter green because I think it would have been too green. So we have this big blank wall here. And this is the first spot that I want to work on to add some character back into this room. So I'm thinking that I want to do like big boxes of trim, like box molding. I'm gonna start just with this wall and see how that looks and if maybe the rest of the room needs it too. So if we did extend it, it would go here and then here. This mirror kind of takes up that whole space. And this wall, we will have curtains on either side that take up a lot of room. But this is the wall. I'm not 100% sure the plan here or placement of everything, so I don't want to do boxes yet if I do decide to do them over on this wall. So just gonna focus on this back wall here, especially because it's the main thing you're gonna see when you walk in the room. So I've done this project before downstairs on a big blank wall, and what really helped was to tape everything out so I can make sure that my placement, spacing is everything right before I start making some more of like actual holes in the wall. But before we do that, I need to put the headboard back so I can factor that in when I am putting the tape on the wall for how everything's gonna go. Okay, I've been playing around with this for a while, and here's what I think I've landed on. Doing these 3 big boxes. I initially thought that I would probably do 4 boxes, but here is why I'm going with 3. If I did 4, that would put like the symmetrical point right here of where the nightstand needed to be. And so the nightstand would need to be over too much away from the bed. Same thing for the vanity over there. And so by doing 3, it's kind of offset so it can be closer to the bed than it is to the wall and still look good and not drive me crazy that it's not perfectly symmetrical, because it will be. And after I did my like kind of rough estimate, I drew it all out, obviously not to scale, but kind of how I wanted it to be in the spacing, like math wise. And so I have all of my measurements for my little pieces, and I can go ahead and cut those. I've been cutting all of my pieces without power tools. I made my cut list on my little chart right here, and I am using these miter shears, and you can just kind of change the angle like this however you want, and then you can squeeze them and they will cut through like thin wood, or I'm using this PVC trim. I got them off of Amazon. I'll link it down in the description. Okay, I've got my laser level going and my compressor there, and I'm gonna start with the bottom of the top boxes and get those all straight. Okay, I just spent like 10 minutes looking for this top piece, and I'm like, I know I cut it. There it is. I attached it to the wall because I didn't cut pieces for this box right here because it's going to be completely behind the bed, and I didn't have enough of them. Did that scare you? Because that scared the crap out of me. But anyway, we're going to move that bottom piece to where it accidentally placed it there and move it to the top. Okay, got everything on the wall and nailed in, but before we paint, we need to fill all of the little nail holes left from the nail gun. Like these little holes right here, and then also we're gonna caulk in the corners here just to make them look seamless. So we'll use wood filler for the nail holes and caulk for the corners. Okay, I gotta let that caulk dry for at least 20 minutes, and then I will sand down like the little spots that I filled with wood filler because I overfilled them, and then we will be ready to paint. Okay, this is gonna need another coat. I'll do that in a couple hours, but I'll do it off camera because you guys have already seen me paint it once. But I love the way that this is looking. It's subtle. Can't wait to put the headboard back up to see how it looks together. So I'll let this dry overnight after the second coat, and then we'll be on to our next project. Okay, I'm ready to put the headboard up on the wall. This is how it is attached with this hanger like this that sits on top of that like a cleat. So this sticks out some, which makes the bottom of the headboard kind of closer to the wall than the top is, so it's tilted forward. So I need to add some spacers to the bottom just so it'll stick out from the wall at the bottom as much as it sticks out from the wall at the top. Hopefully that makes sense, but you'll see. I'm loving the way this headboard looks against the green wall. I like the contrast of it. I think that looks really good. Now, still working on this bed, we have an issue. Like when I switched out the box spring for the adjustable bed bases, it made the bed a lot lower, which this gap right here, like that's super annoying. We kind of put a pillow there at night. So what I want to do is work on this bed. I want to move it up. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take off these feet right here and build new feet, make them longer. So there will be more of a gap right here, but I think we can get away with it to raise the bed up. Also, I want it to be at least the height of this side table right here, because it's kind of strange that it's not. So gotta take the mattress, everything off the bed, and then we'll start playing around with different heights. Okay, I've been playing around with some different heights under the bed, and this is about 10 inches. So I made this bed, when I originally built it, I wanted it to be really low so I could store a bunch of stuff under the bed. I don't really need to do that anymore, so I'm okay if it's a little bit higher. So we're gonna see if we like that. So what I need to do is remove the legs that it has right on it right now, and then cut new pieces and glue them together, and then screw them back onto each corner of the bed. To make the legs for the bed, I am using a 1x2 and a 1x4 in select pine, which means it doesn't have any knots and imperfections in the wood. So I am using glue, and I am just going to glue those together and clamp it to hold until it's completely dry. And then I'm going to take it outside, and I'm using my orbital sander to sand it extremely smooth, and also to slightly round any of the corners just so it's softer looking and not quite so harsh. And after I'm done with that, I'll go in with the pre-stain conditioner. Now, pine has a tendency to stain kind of splotchy, and so the conditioner will kind of make the stain go on more evenly, more uniform. I'm using my favorite stain, which is Early American by Minwax. That's what the rest of the bed is, so of course I wanted to match that. And after I let that dry, then I will screw that from the inside to the bed. So, funny story, when my husband and I were first married, we had this very inexpensive bed made out of like particle board, and in the middle of the night, the corner of it collapsed, and it just so happened to be where his head was. And he stood up and then just laid back down with his head where his feet were. And so that's one of my favorite things about DIY is I can build quality pieces, and I wanted to make sure that nothing like that ever happened again, and that this bed could hold as much weight as I needed it to. These adjustable bases are extremely heavy because of the motor and everything that they come with, so I needed it to hold those and the weight of the mattress plus the people that are going to be sleeping on it. So I did reinforce those wood planks that you saw me adding. I ended up adding some legs underneath those just to hold the weight, to make sure it was completely solid and sturdy no matter how much weight was on it. So I added the mattress back and then a few touch-ups, and this project was done. Okay, here is the bed all done and higher. I don't think it looks strange at all to be that high at the bottom. At the top, I'm like, was it that high before? Seriously? I had to go back and watch old videos, and yes, it was this high before. So I'm really happy with how everything is looking, the bed, the headboard with the wall. I thought about doing like a fun detail right here, but I'm probably gonna end up putting something there, a sofa, a bench, something. So maybe later, but not right now. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you think the wall behind the bed gives the room more character? Do you think I should do the entire room? Need you guys' opinions. So this is where we're gonna stop, and I will be back next week with more progress in this room. I will see you guys then. Bye.